This episode is called Churn, and I remember Amos talking about the churn, and now we're going to know more. God, I'm so ready to watch this season. I'm just so damn ready. All right, I'm going to jump in. Amos has touched down in Baltimore, and we're going to find out more about him.
Pirata belt.
What this shit? It's ours. You want to kill, fight your own.
Don't worry about what I want. Worry about what I am due. A tenth of all you collect.
No ties here. Who are you to tell us who we can kill?
I am Kamina Drummer. You respect my claim, or you die and become a story I tell the next captain.
Maybe that.
The fun in that.
They target locus.
Signal the Motang.
Whoa.
Nice shot, no day.
They're trying to power back up.
At least give them a chance to be polite.
We will. But if they target Locus again, kill them.
Juma, which transferred? You got your call.
Go tell everyone I am in control of this area now.
Yeah, boss man. Out.
I mean, to keep flying.
Maybe even a little extra for share. And the more you share, the more your
ball will be
plentiful.
Hey, that too.
If nothing else, we stopped them before they could space anyone.
Yeah, dead bodies bring attention. The inners will only be distracted by their problems back home for so long. What is that? It's the Tynan. Place Ashford's ship. I never thought I'd actually find it.
She went, I guess I don't necessarily know what she is up to, but it seems like she's on her own mission this season. And so she was looking for Ashford's ship. Wow. So is this after the churn? Things are just completely destroyed? I mean, they're not completely destroyed. Wow, it's so strange to see him on Earth.
Something I can do for you?
Maybe.
Timothy. Lydia was always waiting for you to turn up.
Timothy.
Were you with her?
I moved in here 10 years ago, but I knew her a little bit before that. Charles.
Were you good to her, Charles?
Go up now, and that's all you want to know?
Tell me.
It was an aneurysm in her sleep. She died because we got old and we had a lot of mileage on us. She went to bed fine. And when I woke up, she wasn't there anymore. You need to beat me up to make yourself feel better about abandoning her here. Just do it. How the fuck am I gonna go on without her?
T sounds great. She just did what she had to do to survive.
Well, you can't judge someone by what they do to make rent.
Sometimes you can.
You were in that world too, right? She told me some of it. Born into it. When you got old enough, the Johns didn't want you.
So
they
that did
started you working muscle.
happen. Okay. Wow.
But she knew that they would use you up till there was nothing left.
Float to the top or sink to the bottom.
Wow.
Everything in the middle is a churn. No one really saves anyone.
No.
She taught me how to save myself.
She let me stay, but now that she's gone, the guy who owns it, he wants it back.
I really did not want to believe the comments saying that Amos was abused and trafficked as a child. I didn't want to believe that, but I guess it has been confirmed.
Protecting and policing itself is a good thing.
You know what your problem is?
Tell me.
You think that someone's an underdog. That means you're the good guy.
Are you trying to sleep?
Only a little.
Well, the night will stop once we have the last of the whole plates in attached.
When is that gonna be?
Holden, I know that you're avoiding me, and I just want to let you know that I understand, really. I do. But also, I haven't been completely honest with you.
I'm sure.
There is another piece to this, and he's going after the protomolecule. Meet me, and I will tell you about it. Just you.
Oh no, don't tell me they've killed her. Oh no. Oh no.
Fred, we have a problem.
I didn't know you were coming over. I would have cleaned up the place.
The place is immaculate.
You were low. I wasn't listening. I'm a shitty friend.
Amos says worse than that 5 times a week, and I know he'll take a bullet for me.
I'm pretty sure I already have.
Right.
I've been buying for months. This is all black market.
You got enough here to gear up an army, Bobby.
This is a rounding error on what's being moved. Police are in on it. They're the delivery service.
Military police, then.
This is all coming from the military. And it's not just Goliath suits going missing, but a possible lead on stealth missiles.
Those are first strike weapons. Anyone buying one of those wants to attack a planet.
Now you see why Avasarella is funding me.
No. Jeez. God.
Miss Burden wants to talk.
Man, why don't you go fuck yourself?
Damn.
Please stop hitting me.
I understand you're just doing your job, but I need a friend who will take a message to
God, getting slapped like that.
Do you want to be my friend?
Looking into that.
Many ships left since she was
There's
taken.
always someone doing something shady. It doesn't matter. It's so annoying.
Someone was going after the protomolecule. She had proof, and then minutes later she's grabbed. That can't be a coincidence.
My people will find her.
Your people
Yeah,
are
we
a
don't
part
even
of
know
this.
who to
We
trust.
don't know that yet.
Hey! We can talk! You want to talk?
Nobler to have courage as we stumble into half the things we fear than to analyze every possible obstacle and begin nothing. Great things are achieved by embracing great dangers. These were the words of Xerxes, Persia's king of kings, though he probably spoke them in Old Persian. Chief Alexander Kamal, back on Mars. What's the occasion?
It's just some personal business at the base, and I heard you were given elected out there. It'd be an honor to buy you a coffee. I can give you my first-hand account.
You pilot a stolen Martian ship for an Earther captain. I don't think we have much to say to each other.
Like being upstaged.
I don't see how I could have upstaged him.
First pilot to safely transit the Sol Ring, first Martian to set foot on an exoplanet. If you have an opening in your coffee schedule, maybe I could take you up on it? I mean, if that's not presuming.
Oh, no, it's not.
Babbage?
Here. Duty calls.
Oh, is he just having flashbacks of? That must be him. He's just seeing flashbacks. I'm just like the life that some of us go through as children. I mean, this place is not a fair place. It is not just at all. Ashanti, I love that name, and I love Ashanti, the singer.
I wanted to say goodbye before we left.
So soon.
Well, the boys have school next week. Father misses you. I know he won't say it, but he does. He's back at Columbia now, getting ready for the semester. Maybe he understands that you would rather do anything than admit this part of your life is done.
Perhaps we can take a moment to address that.
If you have something to add?
I do. I would like to discuss the Hisami ship that was attacked.
Why?
It speaks to the larger issue of the security threats from the Bell, including highly sensitive materials like stealth composites.
I am aware of those reports.
If the buyer is Marco Inaros, and one of his ships destroyed the Hisami,
To do a job, it isn't this. If you'd prefer not to be involved in these discussions, you're more than welcome to submit your thoughts in writing.
understood.
Damn.
Good.
And I pushed it. Jesus Christ. That's really how you go through life, isn't it?
Look, there's a signal coming in.
Who is she?
Could be a cargo hold. Or a shipping container.
Man. Oh, God. Fighting against it. Oh, God. Whoa, whoa. But what if you're outside? Like, what if she's in space? She is out. They're out. Hold on. She's in one of these cargo. Oh, they're never. How could they find her? What in the world? That is scary.
It's easier to hide a person in a container.
I guess, yeah, if the blood is coming out, they could follow the blood.
Something on thermals.
Nothing that looks like a body.
Man, that was really savvy of her too. She didn't know where she was. That's dang.
This is carrying live soil. That's why it had atmosphere. This isn't the right container.
Oh my god. Oh, like that's terrifying.
Long enough that no one's even asking who killed him anymore. But now Amos Burton wants to talk.
It's a common name.
Not around here, it's not. There's only one Amos Burton. What the fuck are you doing, Timmy?
Lydia died.
That's not an answer. We had a deal.
I'm gonna need to change that deal.
Fuck you. Got his name and a way off the planet. I made sure Lydia was taken care of her whole life.
Loved her, and as long as he's here, a part of her is too.
The husband?
He keeps the house. And once he's died of natural causes, you can do whatever you want.
That's all this is. Oh, well, shit! You should have just said so. You scared the fuck out of me coming to my place like this.
That was not my intention.
Yeah, the old guy can stay. I don't give a shit. Hang on, we'll drink on it. All this is really about the house.
It's about Charles.
All right. Fine.
Good.
You've changed.
He's gotten softer. And with
What the hell happened to you out there? Remember when we were just street trash? Sitting on the docks, watching the shuttles leave?
I'll never forget that.
How did they find her?
Hold on.
I feel like I had to like do this, like get back up, right side up. Phew.
You just got a dose of hyperoxygenated blood. Packs a wallop. We never would have found you if you hadn't put a hole in your seal, so good job.
I'm not dead.
You're not.
What you did today was hard. When you're hurt, hurting others is easy. It takes strength to choose not to. Life has not treated you with kindness. Doing the right thing anyway always takes strength. I love you, Timothy, but I'm not righteous. I can't teach you to be that. Maybe you and I can imagine a version of me that is good and kind.
So that's why he's been like looking for that type of person, and he sees that in Naomi and in Holden.
You can pretend to love me enough to listen. Maybe that's enough for people like us.
What are you doing on my dock, old man?
Oh God.
No. I mean, no.
Yeah, whatever, asshole.
I mean, at least they read that let's not mess with him. He's dangerous.
Chrissy, I'm gonna need a favor.
Chrissy.
I'm getting ready to go back to the ship, and I'm not coming back to Earth ever. But there's someone that I should see first, and I'm gonna need your help arranging it.
Oh. Oh, so that's where they used to watch the shuttles fly up. He's gonna sue Peaches. Why am I forgetting her name, her actual name? Julie's sister. Great. Another solid episode. So interesting. Like there really is like a difference from this season to the last. And there's just, it's like, it's there. It's like I said, it's solid. It feels circular, like connected, like things are like that. And I don't know what it is. We'll see by the end of this season. But very awesome. Man, life is just not fair. That's the toughest thing I think about getting older and living in this world, and especially living in, I don't know, it's just seeing things that happen to people, that have happened to me, that have happened to people I love and care about, and like, I just don't understand. A kid should never have to go through what Amos went through. Yet, as we saw in this episode, they were still going through that. Nothing has changed. It's just you get up. You either can leave that life and try to make a new one for yourself, or you die in that lifestyle. And they're just children, so they don't have a choice. And like he was saying, like you're born into it. He talked about, it's so interesting because if I rewatch this from season 1 and come, just the rewatch, he's telling you all the story of his life, like the little breadcrumbs, like when we met the chicken can man. It's just, people are born into that. And Amos was born into it, or Timothy, but we know him as Amos now. And sometimes for me, it just, that's why for me it's tough. And I say for me, I'm not saying we're judging you if you believe in whatever you choose to believe in. But coming from a background of being extremely religious, extremely Christian, and then walking away from that and trying to figure out my own belief system. But there was always this thing of, why do bad things happen to good people? And this is all a part of God's plan. And I'll see stuff like that. I still hear stuff like that till this day. This is God's plan. And I just don't understand. I don't know. I just think that things happen because we have free will and we get to choose. And a lot of people's choices hurt other people. This is not a part of God's plan. Trafficking children and using them and abusing them is not a part of, it should not be a part of anything or anyone's plan. Yet it's happening. Yet all these atrocities happen, and it's just like mind bending for me, because it's still this thing that I don't know. And there's no like blaming God or anything at all. I blame human beings because they're the ones doing this. They're doing it. People are doing this, choosing this. And there's really nothing. At the end of the day, it's just like you're either born into suffering or you're born into luxury, or you're born into suffering and you can get out of it, or you're born into suffering and you can die in your suffering, or you're born into luxury and you can die in suffering. It's just, or you're in the middle and you just like, it's just heavy. That's all. It's heavy. It makes you understand Amos. It's like for me, if you've been through certain things that are just unimaginable, the behavior that you can't help but be like, yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on. I'm not going to say you should do this better, you should do that. I mean, it's like if I care about you, I'm just going to say, please. Of course, if you care about someone and you're with them and they're hurting, because hurt people is what Lydia was saying there. You're going to get upset. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to be so annoyed. But if you don't, it's the missing piece. A lot of people don't disclose their hardships, the things that they went through as children or young adults. If you can disclose that, it's a little bit like, oh, I get it. And you don't have to disclose that to the whole world, but to specific people that you can flesh out and feel like, okay, this person's a pretty, like, I can trust this person. As long as that little piece of the puzzle, you can understand why people do what they do. If they explain it, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just so damn unfair. That's the gist of it for me, this episode. Like, it's not fair, and there's nothing to do about it. Like, you can't. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I'm glad we finally got that confirmation on what Amos went through. And to be honest, it's so interesting to hear Eric say, like, you've changed, because that's saying a lot, because the Amos we know can be deadly and scary. He's learned. I mean, that's the thing. This is what I believe it. I believe that everyone, if you're struggling in any way with mental health, with trauma from abuse, from any type of abuse, and you've had anger issues, you've had substance abuse issues, you can't seem to hold down a job, you can't seem to keep relationships, friendships, all of that. You can heal. It's a work in progress. We're always all going to be a work in progress, but with good people, if you're surrounded by people who are go-getters, who are kind-hearted, who have real true love within them, like a Holden, like a Naomi, like an Alex, if you're around these types of people, your relationships, whether it's romantically involved or friendship, and you're just with them, that is healing. I truly believe that relationships are healing, or they can hurt you too, obviously, but in every relationship we have, it teaches us a little bit more about who we are, and hopefully we can see what we need to work on through our relationships. They're all mirrors. So to see the influence that Naomi has had, the influence that Holden has had on Amos he has changed, and as an adult, and that's much harder to do. That's so much harder, but he has grown, and that's so cool. And that's why we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't just stamp people for, oh, they're bad. I do believe that people can change, and we need to confirm that for those people, because a lot of people like Amos cannot see their change. So in a way, it was a good thing for him to come back to Earth, to hear from someone who he used to grow up with, to be around. They were street kids. They were probably both doing the same things, but to hear you have changed from someone that you used to know is like the biggest compliment you can ever get. Because around Alex, if Amos he sticks out like a sore thumb because of the way his brain is set up, and it's not his fault. The way his brain is set up is because of the things he had to endure in this lifetime. And now his brain is set up in a way where he's a very, survival of the fittest. It's you gotta take out the first person or else you die. But yet in that time frame, he has learned to love. He has learned to trust. He has learned that there are good people. And even with him and Lydia, that was like imagine, and this is what's crazier to me. So this is why I really like, this is why I like the mind and understanding people. Human beings are interesting to me. And I really enjoy learning through talking to people, through being with people, because you learn so much. We're so complex. If Lydia maybe never showed up for Amos, that's an interesting thing to think about, who he would become. I don't think he could have become the Amos we know today. He would probably be in Eric's position. he would probably repeat what had been done to him to others and profit off of it because he's got the strength to do so. He's smart. He could have done it that way and hurt people. But and Lydia was like, I'm not even righteous. I mean, she had been through hell from childhood probably too. It's probably the same life that Amos went through, and she was just much older, and she took him in and she did the best that she could. It's so true what she was saying, that it takes so much strength to be kind or to do the right thing, especially when you have been dealt the wrong hand by the world and when the world is mean to you, but yet you find the kindness still to do the right thing. It is tough. A lot of people forget or either just are too ignorant to understand that pull yourself up by the bootstraps is not the way to go. There are people who are behind, and they are behind because of what was done to them or what they were born into. Choices that they didn't have, but it doesn't matter, they're here. So to say we're all on an even playing field is not accurate. And that is why we see so much disparity. But then we can also see some people who have been beaten or trampled upon still rise up to the top. And it's because they probably had at least one person who was good enough in their life. The people who just went completely off the deep end probably did not have at least one good person. So it does matter how we treat each other. If you're a teacher, if you are a coach, a police officer, I mean, I'm talking anybody. If you interact with human beings, if you can be kind, if you can be a positive influence, you do not know the gift you are giving to someone, because so many people are struggling and we don't see it, and we cannot see it unless they say it. And that is what gets the people to the other side or further than they probably were born. Some people are born, and because their situation is so bad, they're not even supposed to get that much further out. But because of some good people, they get way further than they were ever supposed to go. And also just belief in yourself. I also really like that Amos talked about Lydia teaching him to save himself. You know, I said this last episode, we cannot save people as much as we want to. There's so many people that I still want to save, and I will always have that in my heart, and I will do the best that I can to do that, to be like a good person there. But I know that I can't do anything other than love that person or these people. And for me, I went through my own struggles too. And for a long time, they're invisible struggles, by the way. You can't ever know unless people say what they've been through. And so for me, it's like I went through stuff, and I had to understand way later in life that, damn, I don't want to say that I'm messed up, because that's too harsh to say, but I do believe that trauma and neglect and things that happen in childhood, they affect us, and we don't have the words. I did not have the information or the communication skills, or maybe even the people to talk to about it, because everyone was so involved in their own pain and their own stuff. So it's like, oh wow, I'm having like an epiphany. But it's like I learned to live inside of my own head and had all these deep thoughts, but I could not talk to anybody. I just could not talk to anyone because I didn't know who to talk to about it. And also, I knew that anyways, I would be downplayed because I was a kid. So a big thing for me when with my kids. And of course, I've made my mistakes, of course, with them. But in growing and learning, I've learned to listen to them and to see them as their own human beings, because that was something that was not given to me. And that is the most important thing I can do as a mom, is to listen intently to what my kids have to say, because they are struggling. They are in this world that is hard too. And nothing is perfect. But I'm learning to listen, because that is so important, and to be there and to sit down and take the time and just like, what is going on? This is what's happening now. Wow. Like, you know, really, like, it may seem like little kid drama to some parents. Like, they don't get it, that kids are still experiencing their own reality. And it may not seem big, but it is. To them, it is. And I thank God I can see it that way. And so it's just something that I guess I just had an epiphany about, like, wow, I didn't have that happen to me. And I mean, and again, no shame to the people in my life who tried, because they really did, and they suffered their own stuff. But to know that I'm doing that for my kids is like a big thing for me right now. I'm just like having that, like, yeah, wow, that's good. That's a good thing. I think that maybe that's why I always like felt like so close to Amos. I can relate to certain things. Not obviously, his stuff is extreme, but trauma is trauma. I think when even it's so weird. It's just seeing a character exhibit behaviors that are definitely from trauma. Just seeing that, and even not like knowing him in real life, I can still see him like be like, oh yeah, this is my people because of trauma. Like, I think a lot of us are connected to each other because of trauma, or autism, or being neurodivergent in any way, which is trauma, and PTSD is neurodivergence. So we're all like, I swear to God, that's what it is. It's like you see someone like it's like magnetic. We are. So it's interesting. Maybe it may not be love at first sight. Just understand that you might just be like, oh, we're both we're traumatized out. Yeah, I could talk about this for hours, for days. This stuff is interesting, and I always really I just love shows like this, and it's just, God, there's so much more that happened. But I'm such a fan of Amos. I'm such a fan of his character. And I'm such a fan of him just doing the best that he can and being awesome. And so, yeah. But it does make more sense now why I know for a fact, I think it was at the bar with Alex. I don't know if it was season 2 or 3. It might have been season 2. But he was talking, no, it was with Miller. He was with Miller, and he said that Holden was righteous. I think that was like, there's a line somewhere in season 2 or season 3. Holden is righteous. So that makes sense with what we heard Lydia say. So basically, go find someone righteous and stick to them. And so that's what's going on. What else happened this episode? The Monica stuff was so scary. That's like a terrifying way to die, terrible way to die. But good for her for trying to break out. I mean, I thought that was a death sentence, but it ended up being the right thing. She made that hole, and that is what saved her. And I have my like feelings about her, but I like her, and I want her to. She's trying to do her best. A reporter is a journalist, a reporter. They're good. They're trying to get the information out. And anybody who tries to censor that, it's not right. It's not right. So it's like, who are the people, the backstabbers, the Brutuses, the Judases in this place? There's people who are working undercover, and we don't know who they are, but they're definitely higher up. And it's the same with the Martian situation. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to continue to see what happens this season. And Drummer finding Ashford's ship, and she's got to take revenge. So, yeah, cool. All right. Thanks for listening. I will see you guys in the next episodes. Bye, everybody.